is up, Tampa Bay? Oh, that's my best impression of like, good morning, Vietnam. No, I'm just kidding. I just dated myself instantly there, just so everybody knows. But happy Tuesday. It is, we had an incredible weather day today. Today is the reason why I live in Florida, 100%. It was warm. It was sunny, but just like yesterday. That's right. Never mind.
And it was an awesome breeze.
It was. We had a really nice breeze, which was nice to have. But it was a good day. Good weather day. Excited to get in today's live, y'all. So for those of you joining us, as always, we would love to know where you're joining us from. You can put that in the comments. We will answer questions when you have them, of course, if they're appropriate. We will not be answering anything that is can't go on the screen that the youth can't see, just so y'all know. We are very mindful of the fact that you could have children sitting in the room with you right now. So some of you watch this from your cell phone. Most of you probably watch this from your living room, sitting on the couch. Hopefully you got a nice tub of popcorn, maybe a beer, whatever the beverage of choice is. But we're excited to share some cool stuff with you. The girls have some really fun things to share with y'all today. And I'm excited. We also had some recognition nationally here that I think is definitely worth sharing with the audience. So we're excited to share that with you. And for the viewers who are new to the channel here, my name is Juan Alcala. I am a licensed real estate agent, and I help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in the Tampa Bay area with these two lovely ladies. We've got Marcia Railton down in Bradenton, Florida, which is about 30 minutes south of St. Petersburg. Marcia handles our Sarasota Bradenton division. And then we have Stacy Amon, who is handling to us from Dade City, which is in Pasco County. That's to the north of Tampa Bay. So we're excited to share these ladies with you. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. We would love to have a conversation with y'all. If you have any questions specifically about real estate, don't hesitate. And do us a favor. If you get any value whatsoever from these live streams, please hit the like button. They really help get this out to other people so we can share the word, not only with our community here locally in Tampa Bay and Sarasota, but also nationally as well for those who are considering making that jump. So we look forward to connecting with everybody. And right out of the rip, we got a hello from Kansas City. Hello, Carrie. It's good to see you. And thanks for watching. We appreciate it. So we are going to get into some stuff. I love the shirt. Nothing like being a big fan of what you do. I love that. Are you saying you're a Friends fan as well? Is that like throwback? Okay.
Yep. Who doesn't love Friends?
Well,
I watch it every time I can't sleep at night because it's on during the night. So it's my go-to. I'll watch 4 episodes of Friends.
Makes me laugh every time. Bad mood, watch Friends. I'm falling off the couch.
Yeah. And that's the precise reason I don't have a television in my bedroom, because of what Marcia just said right there. I will veg out. The last time we had a TV in our room, Mad Men, I discovered Mad Men, and I don't think I went to bed till like 4 o'clock on a regular basis. It was terrible. So strongly encourage everyone to get really good rest, and that's not the way to do it. So, all right.
One, but our TV wasn't in our bedroom, but I'd just stay up till like 4 a.m. watching Mad Men. It was so good. I couldn't stop watching it.
It was a great show. I hated the way that show ended.
I hated that it ended. I don't want
this to watch.
Yeah, it was definitely not a good ending. All right, enough. Welcome to Conversation Party for 3. This is what's happening today. This is our world, y'all. We meet in the morning, we talk about things like this, and then we meet in the afternoon. But we were just literally celebrating right before we went live, literally seconds before we went live, that Stacy has just got one of our clients who is relocating from the West. They come from Washington, right?
State.
Yeah, Washington State, under contract, and they are veterans. And on a VA loan, which is very hard to get accepted right now. We are up against multiple offers, and we beat out cash. 2 cash offers is what she said with the VA loan. And that makes me so happy and so proud. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And we had a sale of property contingency, and we still won.
Yep. So what's Stacy said, she's a
I'm
magician.
so excited.
Yeah. She's a magician. She was able to rub two sticks together and convince these people. Was it the Jedi mind trick that you pulled on them to get them to accept
All day yesterday.
That's well, that just tells you how hard she is working for our clients and for you who are considering making that move. So great job, Stacy. Like I said, I couldn't be more proud of you for that. So thank you.
Thanks.
And I'm sure that I don't want to mention names, but I'm sure that our clients that probably are watching or will tune into this, congratulations, y'all. You know who you are. So definitely wanted to say congratulations. Well, that's great. And so I want to kick this off and keep this rolling. So last week, Marcia opened up. She talked about what's happening down in Sarasota and Bradenton, and we're going to do that again tonight. But this evening, we want to swap it out, and we want to have Stacy go first and start talking about what's happening to the north of Tampa in Pasco County. She brought some really cool things to do to the table. And for those of you who don't know about Tampa Bay and Florida in general, this state is definitely designed to be lived outdoors. Okay. And there's so much to do. Yes, we have 1,300 miles of incredible coastline. There is no doubt about that. No denying that. We have ample sunshine. As a matter of fact, in July, August, and September, it's probably more than we can appreciate. But along with that, it comes with the outdoor living and the lifestyle and everything you can plug into when it comes to moving into the area. And I know a lot of the times we just talk about real estate and numbers and focus on things like that. And those things are important, y'all. But like what's truly important is how you're going to experience the community you live in at the end of the day. Right. And we talk about this with our clients often. Our goal and our number one mission on our team is to match your ideal lifestyle, that lifestyle that you have in your head with the community that matches that lifestyle. And there's so many opportunities to plug in. You're going to see the wide spectrum tonight as we cover these things. But I want to get into these because we have some really cool things on deck. So let me pull this up, Stace, and then we can get this thing rolling here. Because y'all are in for a treat. I'm excited to share. All right, let's get into this. So the first thing I'm looking at right now that you had to share tonight, it looks like a very large animal. and for those, and I just want to let the audience guess here, like, who knows what the tallest animal on this planet is currently? If you know what that is, please put it in the chat. Okay, because I want to see what your all's guesses are as we unveil this first opportunity. So, Stacy, talk to us about what you got on tap for us right now.
Well, I was doing some research on family fun in Pasco County, and I have lived in Dade City for 3 years, and I had no idea that there was a Giraffe Ranch in Dade City. I'm like, are you kidding me? And you can go on a safari. Like they have 4 different types of tours. But anyways, the Giraffe Ranch is 47 acres. It's family owned, and it's a farm and wildlife preserve. And so they offer 4 different types of tours. And you can go and feed giraffe. And they even have this cool little, they call it a Segway.
I see that right here, right? So
yeah, I didn't know what that was, but it's a little, yeah. You go on your
Segway tour. That's cool. Yeah.
So you can come like super close to these animals. I thought that was crazy.
Yep. Oh, you can ride camels. Look at that.
A camel safari. You can actually even just stay in your car if you want to. And it's a guided tour where the guide, I guess there's an FM radio station you connect to. And so you can hear the tour guide through your radio. So you don't even have to get out of your car if you don't want to.
That's very cool.
But yeah, you can customize a tour. There's a camel tour and a Segway safari tour. Zebra, pygmy hippos, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I got to be honest with you. I don't have any interest in getting on a camel.
No, me neither. Me neither.
But seeing giraffes are really cool, and I know my children would absolutely love that experience. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. We had some guesses. Yep, Carrie, you got it. You nailed it. Giraffe, and then NW said the same thing. Giraffe. Yeah, you guys both spot on. good pick. But I love that. I do think that's really cool. It's not normal to be able to look. You can go feed an otter or a ring-tailed lemur. There used to be a show that the kids would watch all the time that had a lemur in it, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was on like one of the kids' television networks, and one of the key characters was a lemur, leaping lemur. I'll have to ask the kids about that, but that's great to be able to go and pet a giraffe. That's pretty cool. I definitely can see why that would be a good time. Yeah. What else? What else you got on tap?
Younger kids, I would be all over this. Mm-hmm. My kids would have loved that when they were younger. They might still love it now, actually. Yeah. But also in Dade City, we have a Tree Hoppers Arial Adventure Park, which is pretty cool. It's a mixture of bridges, ladders, climbing elements, zip lines. And it's for all ages, actually.
That's very cool. This is more popular than I recognized here in Florida. Just to the north in Ocala, there is, I think, one of the largest I think it is the largest ziplining, the longest ziplining experience in all of North America. So let me rephrase that.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's not far. I mean, you're only talking another hour north from where we are. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool when you recognize that those opportunities are available and that there's some exciting things to do in the area. So that's pretty cool.
They have 10 different courses. So, and they're at 5 different levels. So they have courses just for kids, beginner courses, intermediate, hard, and expert. So
here we go. Yep.
We're just hitting everybody.
Oh, you got the double diamond. just like skiing, right? Like we don't know anything about that here in Florida. Skiing is abnormal to us, but like we think that these are the names of kind of the stuff that they use up north, right? That's cool. This looks like a pretty big park. This does not look small at all. This little lemurs course right there, sunshine course. That's pretty cool. How much are the tickets? Let's check out. They have group pricing. That's always nice because I'm pretty sure you're going to pick all tickets.
They have birthday parties, or you can do like corporate events there. They also do like a cosmic night climb where you go climb at night and they light up the whole course.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I
could see how that could be a good time. It doesn't say exactly how much they are. Do you know? Did it say?
I don't remember.
Did you find out?
I don't remember. I know you can do a membership pass and go all year.
That's what's up. That's exciting. I could definitely see the family doing that. Our kids would love to do something like that. So I think that this is a great share. So if y'all are interested, learning more about it, go to the Tree Hopper Arial Adventure. You can check that out there. Again, in Arial Adventure Park, which is pretty cool. So zip lining, climbing, all the fun, right? This is the best way to tire those kids out or to raise your blood pressure, whichever one works best for you.
I was going to say, it has to be a great workout.
It really does.
For all ages.
Yeah. Are you afraid of heights?
Yeah. I'm not, I don't like roller coasters and stuff. I'll do them because my son will talk me into doing it.
Yeah.
And he's a roller coaster junkie, but I don't enjoy it.
Got it. Marcia, what about you?
Big no.
I do like to zip line though.
Yeah.
We went on a cruise. I forget where we were, but we did a zip lining course and I loved it. I was scared to death, but I loved it.
Marcia said big no. She'd much rather be in the boat, y'all.
I don't like roller coasters either or heights. Not adventurous that way.
I am, fun fact, I am terrified. Well, terrified of heights. Kate tells me that I'm not afraid of heights. She says I'm afraid of falling, which is interesting because we've jumped out of a plane before. We've done bungee jumping and zip lining, and I'm not afraid of that. Like, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but like, I've never really been afraid of that. But when I'm on my roof, which is only like 12 feet off the ground, I'm terrified. I'm terrified.
I think it has to do with that control. We like to be in control.
It could have a little something to do with that. There's no doubt about it. We would love to know if y'all have places like this back home where you're watching from. Let us know what they're called. I would love to check those out too, because We travel a ton with the family, and these are the types of things that we look for when we travel to different areas. We're about to go to Detroit, back to see family for the holiday. And we're going to stop in Asheville and do some cool stuff up there. But we'd love to know. Share with us, right? Like, love to know where you guys are watching and what kind of cool things like this, outdoor activities you have in your area. That'd be awesome. So what else is going on in Pasco County up there?
Well, the Mirada Lagoon finally opened up.
It did.
It's 15 acres. It's the largest lagoon in Tampa.
Well, certainly is.
15 acres. Yeah. Yeah, they have a water slide and a splash zone, which that is included in the fee for the lagoon.
This is insane. So we've made videos on the Epperson Lagoon up in Wesley Chapel. For those of you who are watching the channel, maybe you've never seen those before. We have at least 2 videos that feature the lagoon. And that is 7.5 acres, and it is huge. Okay. Just so it's incredibly large, just so everybody knows. And this thing is twice that size. It's unbelievable. Right. So Stacy, you got some pricing details on this too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh,
yeah.
Here's the splash pads and the water slide you were talking about, right?
Yeah, those come with it. If they do have extra things that are, of course, additional costs, like kayaking and paddle boarding. There's a water obstacle course that's extra. I think you pay those by the hour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much those are though. But the day pass can be $20 to $40, I guess, depending on the time of year per person to get in. And then they also do late day passes. So if you enter after 3, it's the cheaper. It's like $13 to $32.
Okay, so it's similar like golf courses where you come in after the twilight hours, you get better deal.
Yeah,
that's cool. I noticed that they didn't have any inflatable slides like you do at South Shore Bay and Epperson. You have these full water slides here, which is cool. And yeah, the paddle boarding and the kayaking. There's all kinds of activities there. These things are nuts, y'all. And that price is actually better than Epperson as well.
Yeah. I think so too.
I wonder if they're not that far apart. So just for perspective, anyone wondering, I'll pull it up here in a second. From Epperson to Mirada is probably 20 minutes, maybe 25. You think it's longer than that?
Well, not if you know the back road.
Right.
It's a little shorter.
Yeah, it's probably 15 that way. Yep.
It's probably what, 8 miles? Yeah, so you're pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, Epperson Lagoon. Now I'm doing the hard work of Dr. Googling it.
Google mapping. Well, what's really cool too is the Morata has already put together an event calendar. So for the summer, every Friday night they're having live music and happy hour for the adults, and the kids zone every Saturday and Sunday they're having sea creature games and arts and crafts and music for the kids.
That's awesome. 12 minutes, by the way. That's the distance between the 2 lagoons. Talk about being spoiled rotten, right? Like that is unbelievable. And that's pretty cool when you recognize how close they are. So 12 minutes from Epperson Lagoon to the Morata Lagoon here. And that is, I got to be honest with you, it's mine. These things are incredible. Talk about a feat of engineering and like it's awesome to look at. And for those of you who've never seen these lagoons before, the motto here is bringing the beach to your backyard. And I love that about these because it's not close. You know, Epperson is about an hour and 20 minutes to Clearwater Beach. Mirada is going to be similar in terms of timing to Clearwater Beach. And even the closest beach that isn't Clearwater, Fred Howard Park, probably still going to be an hour away, right? With traffic and drive time and everything. So it's really cool to see, these communities come to life. And Mirada is just starting to sell single family home like this week. They're doing a lot of condos and townhouses right now. They opened up that way, just like the other communities have opened. And then they're starting to build single family homes from Lennar specifically. Who else are they building with there, Stacy?
D.R. Horton is going to be opening a phase here. There's that Miranda Homes. They're going to be opening a new phase. They were in phase 1, but they sold out. They're going to open another phase soon. And then there's West Bay, Homes by West Bay, and Biscayne Homes, which is on the little higher end of the price point.
Yeah, Biscayne has some really beautiful homes. We toured the Osprey up there. It's incredible. You guys will see a video. We'll do a property tour of that property specifically. And then Homes by West Bay, you know, we've just spoke about this a little bit before, but honestly, I think they're one of the best builders in terms of dollar per value that we have in the community right now. A lot of the builders are great, y'all. I'm just giving you my anecdotal and professional perspective on what I see. Right. So like it's just been really fun to watch. Carrie says she's going to Morata on Labor Day. Awesome. Check out the area, see if we like the neighborhood and people. It looks amazing. Well, Stacy lives up there, so of course you're gonna love the people. That only makes sense. No, you listen, if this is your thing, you're probably gonna enjoy it, right? We've spoke about this before. Like there's kind of like this difference between, I wouldn't say, I don't want to call people who like the lagoons park people, but like there's that kind of same temperament of like, I enjoy these types of activities, right? Like where there's lots of people around and this attraction based thing, you know, because these communities are incredible. This has a swim up bar. Well, sorry, I took it down, but you know, they do screenings for sports game. There's a tiki bar there. There's food trucks on site. There's all I mean, it literally, outside of getting out of the sun, there really isn't an excuse to leave. They really make it easy to stay and have more than one thing to do. You know, I remember the trips to the beach as a kid, like eventually you got bored. right. But your parents were going to like get every ounce of that trip out of it, you know, like, so you were going to suffer through the rest of the day, whether you were bored or not. Right. Yeah, everybody's laughing because they remember exactly what that feels like. So definitely something to be mindful of, but that's great, Stacy. I love the share. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, you know, as a reminder, we've got giraffes that you can go hang out with, lemurs you can go hang out with. You can ride a camel up at the Giraffe Ranch. So that's cool. You've got the Tree Hopper Adventure Park, which is awesome. So zip lining, you know, tree climbing, all kinds of cool stuff up to the north there as well. And then Mirada just officially opened. So you've got 2 lagoons within 15 minutes, even with traffic lights to choose from. So that's pretty cool. Those are great shares. I love that. If you guys have any specific questions about Pasco County, Wesley Chapel, Odessa, Lutz, Lando Lakes, San Antonio, you know, obviously Stacy's the authority to reach out to you there on the team. You can reach out. All of our contact information is down below for anyone that has any questions about it. We'd be more than happy to help answer those questions with you guys. So it's great. Marcia,
Yes.
I heard we get some awards for awesome beaches in the area.
Yes, we did. Siesta Key is voted the #2 beach in the United States, second to a beach in Maui, Hawaii. Wow. So we're excited to know that. And it's not the first time we've rated high as far as beaches are concerned. People love Siesta Beach. There's a show about it. People go there from all around the world. One of the cool things about it is the quartz white sand. It's cool no matter how hot it is. You can put your feet in the sand and it's cooling. It feels awesome.
Yeah.
Really neat beach to go to. Very large, very deep. So when you get out of your car and you do have a long walk with those coolers and chairs and all that to get
Thank you for mentioning that. That is something. Oh, thank you for telling the truth there, because that is definitely something that y'all. So here in Tampa, and just for perspective, Siesta Key. So from like St. Pete Beach to Siesta Key Beach, it's less than an hour. That's how close we are. Okay, so like it's not far, but they're entirely different. And let me put it this way: like the beaches look similar, white, beautiful, sandy beaches, great sun, like, you know, great look, Clearwater, all that stuff is awesome. But the depth of the beach is entirely different. Right. It is. Siesta Key is probably 3 to 4 times at least as deep as any beach from Clearwater all the way down to St. Pete Beach, which is like 27 miles, right? It's entirely different. And I remember going down there for the first time with some friends, and I walked out, I was like, dude, you need a cart like to get to the water out here. But it is really cool. The beach is so deep, and there's so much like room to run around and play on, and it's just great. And it's great for shells. There is a huge difference in the beaches in terms of the ability to shell, right? So there's way more shells in Siesta Key, Lido Beach, like those. They have way more shells. So if you're into that type of thing, you'll find more there than you will in St. Pete and Clearwater. As a matter of perspective.
Yeah. Well, I know the first time we went there, we went with friends, and they did bring a cart, and I thought it was a little overkill until we started the walk out to the beach. I was so grateful. But they do have a lot there, though. They have volleyball, tons of volleyball. What do you call them? Volleyball areas.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on, and it is a beautiful beach. They have things like they have a drum circle at night there at sunset. It's super cool to watch. It's not organized, like it's not a bunch of professional people coming out to the beach and sitting there. It's just people come there and start the drums. Other people bring other musical instruments. Some people just start dancing. It's just really unique how they go about it, and super fun. They also have a really cool sand castle competition every year. It lasts like a week, and people from all over the country and maybe the world that do sand castles, really detailed ones, they do that at Siesta Key. So that's super fun.
Nice. So you're saying it's full of hippies?
Kinda. I knew at the drum circle, the times I've been there, I've smelt some funny smells.
Down here we call them saltwater hippies. It's okay. It's totally different. Right? That's great. That's awesome.
So, and the other thing I love in Siesta Key, or close to Siesta Key, is Siesta Village. It is. I just really like the vibes in that area. There's really good restaurants. What I think is some really nice shops, as far as anything from swimwear to finding some souvenirs, but they're nice. They're not all the real inexpensive ones. You can find some cool things. But two of our favorite restaurants in Siesta Key is the Blase Cafe and Martini Bar. On Friday nights, they have a band that plays in the parking lot. And I'll never forget the night before COVID was announced. We were there with several of our friends that were down from Michigan, and the band started playing a song, and they were singing My Corona, like COVID, my coronavirus. And we all thought it was so funny until the next day we were told you couldn't leave your house. At the time, it seemed like a funny thing, but it was not funny when we realized the next day what exactly it was. So
got real serious real quick at that point, right?
Pardon?
I said it got real serious real quick.
Yes, it did. Right? But I'll never forget that. It was a super fun evening, and the Siesta Key Oyster Bar is where my husband and I decided when we came to visit Sarasota and Tampa that we were going to make the move down here. So I'll always remember that day, deciding to move from Atlanta down here. It was just Siesta Key Village and all the other places we saw that made us make the move.
That's interesting. That's fascinating, right? Like when you find those spots and you can tie the memories to it. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people here, y'all. Like I've shared my story before as well. Like we came to Indian Rocks Beach and we knew we're like, it changed everything for us. We thought we were going to live on the Atlantic side, and then it just like one spot changed everything for us. So that's cool, Marcia. Thank you for sharing that story with us. I think that's great.
Sure.
In the village specifically, like so people can gain some reference, right? Siesta Key Beach, she was mentioning that. So, Siesta Key public access is right here, on this map. And this is all Siesta Key Beach right here. Siesta Beach as you roll down here. And then the village Marcia, right here, right?
Oh yeah, I thought you were going out to the water. Yeah, it's right along there.
Yep. And there's so much to do, and this is just one area of it, right? If we back out on the map a little bit, like Sarasota is beautiful as well. You know, we always poke at each other about like which is better, Tampa or Sarasota, but we talked about this before. They're an hour apart, right? These are like they're very much similar. They do live differently, so that's something to keep in mind. But as you go north, this is where you get to Lido Beach, which is another beautiful beach in Lido Key. You got St. Armand Circle up there with some beautiful restaurants and shopping up there too. This whole area,
different vibe than Siesta Key Village. Very different.
It is different. And Marcia, you talked to me about this bike ride that you've taken before down this bridge. Like, why don't you share people again? It's meant to be experienced and lived outdoors.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a cycling team. And so when we train or when we're meeting and going, we usually go on Sunday mornings. And one of my favorites is when we leave from Anna Marie Beach, which is at the top of the map that you're showing. And we cycle down and cross the Ringling Bridge going into Sarasota. So all together, I think it's like 40, I want to say 42 miles that we go. So it's a long ways, but it's a lot of fun and gorgeous ride, you know, between the beaches and the houses and going through the little towns. It's just so much fun. So it's a great way to experience the islands there. And then we always end with a picnic on the beach, which is fun. So
at Beer 30?
Pardon?
At Beer 30?
No, we leave like at 7:30 in the morning. So it's like 11. No beer yet.
That's perfect for lunch though. No, that's awesome. And like, what a cool, you want to talk about a cool bike ride.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
That's a great experience. It's also a very good boat ride. So
yeah, we do it that way as well.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And like, you know, you were saying we tease each other about the different areas and what we have and who has what, but that's what makes our area so cool. There's so much of it. You know, it's not like we have one beach. We have hundreds probably up and down the coast, and there's always something new to experience. So I love that.
It's crazy, like how much we're truly spoiled with the amount. And again, we're, as you can tell, we're beach babies. We're drawn to the water type of thing. Like that's it. If you didn't notice, you know, Marcia's in the boat. Like we spend probably 3 out of the 7 days each week at the beach at some point. My wife runs down to the beach every single day. This morning, she met one of her girlfriends down at the beach. They went for a morning walk together. Like that stuff is just so refreshing, and it's so different. So, you know, if you're watching from another area, oftentimes people ask me like, Juan, what's the biggest difference between living up north and living in Florida? And I always tell everybody, like, you don't have to shovel sunshine, right? Like, you know, and it's abundant here, and it is a blessing. We truly feel like we've been blessed by the amount of activities and the opportunities we have from the lifestyle that comes along with living in Florida. And it's not just on the coast, right? Like Stacy just showed you some really cool things to do more inland. And there's always activities. There's always clubs, pickleball, tennis, you know, all the sports are here, with the Tampa Bay Lightning being as good as they've been over the last decade. You know, hockey has had a huge growth spurt here. And me being from Detroit, I've been really salty about it because Steve Yzerman came down here and built your team. But who's counting? You know, nobody's paying attention to that, except for me. Right? While we were floundering and the wings were terrible again, it was just like one of those things, man. You're like dying, but that's cool to see. And obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had a lot of success over the last few years with Tom Brady being here, and he's left us now as well. And the Rays have had some success as well, even though baseball is not necessarily the most loved sport here in Tampa Bay. People necessarily don't love going to the Tropicana Field, as it's called. And the reason being is because there's also this like Tampa Bay rivalry type of thing where people who live in Tampa or in the suburbs of Tampa do not want to cross this bridge or these bridges. It's like they're allergic to it. And people who live in Pinellas County like by Clearwater or St. Pete area, they don't want to go the other way. They're also allergic to the bridge. Like the bridges are necessary, but people are allergic to them, and they just don't want to share. So the big scuttlebutt, if you're here locally, but there's been talk about, people buying the Rays and moving them to the suburbs for years and years and years. Nothing has ever happened. Right. So there's, you can go to baseball games where there's literally only 2,000 or 3,000 people in the stands, which is pretty sad. I'm going to be honest with you. It's weird. It gets really busy when the Yankees come to town. Obviously, we have a lot of people from the Northeast here. When the Sox come to town, it gets busy. When the Tigers come to town, it gets busy because there's a lot of people from the Midwest here as well. So most of the baseball games are filled with visiting fans and not necessarily home fans. So it's definitely unique. There's some subtleties there when it comes to living in the area, but very cool, in terms of opportunity on that end. I love that. Marcia, what else you got for us?
I wanted to tell everybody a little bit about Tidewater Preserve. I feel like I'm an expert at it is because it's where I live, and it's a unique community because it's a boating community, which allows you to have your boat either parked behind your home in on a dock, or we also have a marina. So whether you live in a condo, a carriage home, or a single family home, you can have a boat. And we have access to the Manatee River, which goes all the way out into the Tampa Bay, which goes all the way out into the Gulf of Mexico. So it gives you a lot of opportunity for boating. And it's a great way to be in a protected area as far as boating and water is concerned, because we are in a lagoon. Juan's showing you there, the neighborhood. You can see it's right on the river, and to the far right of the neighborhood, there's a boat ramp. So you have to take your boat. You actually pull onto this ramp that lifts your boat up over a wall and sets it in the water. So you're protected inside of that wall. When we have the hurricanes or storms, our boat's pretty well protected, but it's a great atmosphere. I've talked about it before, how we love boating, and we can take off and go out for dinner. There's tons of restaurants along the river here. We can head out to the intercoastal or go all the way up to St. Pete or anywhere we want in the boat. So it's a lot of fun. But our neighborhood, I want to talk about it. I know that Stacy talks about neighborhoods up in Wesley Chapel, and I know that a lot of people that are listening like to know what different neighborhoods are like. I've lived here for 9 years, and we've really enjoyed it. It's a real tight group of people, although there's close to 700 homes in our community. It was built by WCI, and then I think 5 years ago, Lennar bought the west side of the neighborhood and built condos and carriage homes. So we have a combination of home styles here, which are great. And we have things like 2 clubhouses and 3 swimming pools and tennis courts. So a lot of the normal attributes that a neighborhood would have, but ours is unique because of the boating and the water.
Mm-hmm. That is cool, because it's very difficult to get in a boating community here in the Tampa Bay area. They're highly desirable, right? They don't often come to market, and we don't have a lot of channels or inlets, nearly as much as you do to the south, like in Cape Coral and those areas, right? Where you can there's a lot more water access prevalent. We don't have that much. So it's really cool when you're able to do that, because most of the access is on the river itself. And a lot of these properties aren't necessarily accessible to the average person. In Tidewater, where you're at there, you can get a condo in Tidewater right now for around $400,000, which is, again, when you're talking about being on a piece of on the water in Tampa Bay, Sarasota area, that's fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're new. It's not an old condo. They're new. They were built in the last 3 years. Yep. And the views, you and I did a video on one, and we showed the sunset views from those condos are phenomenal.
Yep. And from Tidewater, Marcia, how long is the boat ride down to Pier 22 here, where you like to go down and go to your favorite pizza spot downtown Bradenton?
Probably 25 minutes, I would guess.
Good boat ride.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And 45 minutes to the coast?
Yes, to get out of the river.
Yeah, out into the bay. So you guys see it here. So here's Tidewater. That was the lagoon and the raft. So you'd come all the way out here to the Gulf Coast, and then in there now you're looking at Anna Maria Island, Fort DeSoto, and we talked about Egmont last week.
Yeah, right? We're not seeing that one.
Yeah,
we're seeing Tidewater picture, not the map.
Happens from time to time.
There you go. Yeah.
But as you get, like I was saying here, y'all, for those of you tuning in the channel, what we're talking about last week, we talked about Egmont Key. That's right here. And then here's Anna Maria. This is the beach point that we talked about last week. Here's the river. So again, floating down into downtown Bradenton. That's where Marcia likes to go and have her Fun Guy pizza at Oak and Stone. That's her favorite pizza for anybody listening. Or watching.
It doesn't hurt that you're on the 8th floor on a rooftop looking over the river. It's the view's so good. It makes the pizza that much better.
now that we're talking about it, we should feature it. If you watch the Bradenton video, you'll see in there that we did cover that. But Oak and Stone in downtown Bradenton, it does have a rooftop. There's a photo here. Let's see if we can get some photos of it. The view is bananas. Oh, they got video of it. Look, that's super fancy.
Okay, Marcia, you're going to have to take me to that place.
We'll go Thursday.
Something very cool about this place is all of the beer taps are on the wall. So this is a pizza and beer bar, essentially. All of the taps are on the wall. I want to see if they have a photo of it. The taps are on the wall right here. And it's self-pour. So you get these bracelets, and you have to put the bracelet up against the tap right here where it says Oak and Stone. And that unlocks it, and then it counts how many ounces you pour in that glass, and that's how they charge you when you're done. So it's pretty cool.
It is. It's a really fun place. My favorite place. I love going there.
And the view is bananas. You see these gorgeous homes down on the river there, and it's just like, man, what a cool spot to come hang out. And then this is the marina. Oh, it's video. That's why it's struggling there. But the marina is right down underneath it. So you see all the beautiful boats and the yachts and those types of things. See if
and they're doing so much with the downtown area. They're extending the river walk, and they're building condos and all kinds of things. So I'll keep you up to date on what's happening there.
I think I want to move there.
You're going to want to once you have that on the rooftop.
Oh, no.
And there is a full restaurant and bar downstairs on the ground level too. Just so anybody is watching this and you're wondering about it, there's a full restaurant and bar downstairs because during the spring or the winter, it does get cold. You may not want to sit up there and when it's 60 degrees and the wind is cranking down. I know everybody from up north is like rolling their eyes right now. They're like, "What are you talking about?" Right? They're like, "Trust me, it's colder by the water than you think it is." And I'm a soft cupcake Floridian at this point, but I'm telling you right now, it feels different when it's 75 and you're near the water.
I'm always the only one that brings a sweater or jacket when I go there, and everybody else around me is freezing, like toasty warm. But I know that rooftop, there's always wind, and you're right, coming off the water, it's cold.
Yep. And let's talk a little bit about real estate values down there as well, Marcia, just real quick, because I didn't want to glance over that. So forgive me for not sharing that. But right now in the Sarasota housing market, you're looking at a median sales price of $495,000. We were talking about this earlier. That's most likely not a realistic expectation for a single family home. If we click on single family homes here, you'll see it's $492,500. Looks like the market is down 3.5% year over year there. But honestly, to get a good quality 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Marcia, what should somebody expect to spend in the Sarasota, Bradenton area?
I would say mid-5s.
Yep. And that's the difference between median and average, y'all. Like we want to make sure that we're being transparent with everybody who's looking at this. Like our goal is not to get on here and not be transparent and share the truth. Like you see these numbers, and numbers can be skewed any way you want. But like when you're out there with clients and you're trying to get quality properties, and look, can you find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Sarasota for $492,500? Absolutely. Is it going to need most likely a new roof, new kitchen, new flooring, new AC? The answer is most likely. So that's why we want to be transparent about it, because the cost associated with some of those things is pretty expensive. And at today's interest rates, which are running around in close to 7%, most people don't want to take that on. So you get this weird world of like expensive housing prices, and you're seeing price drops too. And you're like, oh, prices are dropping, but they're only dropping on the things that people don't want. The properties that are very attractive, that are completely renovated, move-in ready, those homes are selling literally in days right now. So I just want to give everybody perspective. And that's right now. I don't know when you're going to be watching this in the future. It can be entirely different. And we'll tell you, look at our lives that week, because we'll share with you what's happening then in that market. So I just wanted to give perspective there. As we move over to Bradenton, you can see here for all home types, they got it at $395,000. Single family is up to $439,900. Same thing here, Marcia. Like, what should you expect to pay for that 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Bradenton?
Probably about 5.25 or higher. It's not much different than Sarasota.
Yep. I would agree with that. And, appreciate you sharing that with us today, Marcia, because I think it's important for our viewers to know what it costs to live in the area, because, again, you can be faked out by a lot of things really quick. You start looking online, you're like, oh, I see this. So we just want to be mindful of it. But we do have some other really cool news to share locally about what's happening here in Tampa Bay. And again, if you're new to the channel here, we make videos that are all things Tampa Bay. So we're glad to have you. We're all in real estate, as you can see in our names there. My name is Juan. We have Marcia with us and Stacy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in at whatever time you did. We'd love to know where you're watching from, so don't hesitate to put that in the chat. And again, if you have any questions specifically about the areas or restaurants or those types of things, reach out. We answer all of the comments personally. I don't have an assistant or a bot handling that, so I get in there and make sure your questions get answered. But I definitely wanted to dig into some cool news we're having here in Tampa Bay, because I think that there's some cool stuff popping off. So this came late today, right before the end of the workday, that Tampa was just ranked among the hottest U.S. housing markets. This is no surprise to us, because we're out there practicing every day. We started today with the win of Stacy being able to get one of our VA clients under contract. And Marcia is in the throes of running around with another one of our VA clients who,
We're trying.
You're writing your fourth or fifth offer with them.
The fourth
offer. So they're trying, y'all. And I'm sharing this with everybody because, you'll look at things and you'll be like, well, prices are down. And that's true. And I'm going to show you the stats, but prices are only down on things that people don't want at the prices they have set, right? There's a buyer for every home, essentially. And once you get the pricing right, and especially if the property's in great condition, those things move, and they move quickly. I read some stats last week that got into the specifics of it, but I wanted to talk about this because I thought this article was great. And it points to a specific article back here, and it's from bankrate.com is where the article came from. And it goes through how it ranks these communities. And the metro area is what it was referring to when it comes to, where the excitement's happening. So hottest metros, a majority of them are in Florida. You got Gainesville, Georgia, ranked, Knoxville, Tennessee, Cape Coral, Northport. Those are just south of Marcia right there. And then North Carolina as well. And then when we get to the hottest large metro, so those were small to medium-sized metro. When you get to the hottest large metro areas, Tampa ranked number 3. And that was based second. We were second in appreciation of pricing of housing, third in unemployment rate, meaning how low our unemployment rate is. The only weak spot was the 44th place showing in inventory. So again, we have houses, but they're just not priced right. And, this is something that we're really focused on when we work with our sellers. We live in Florida, which is a get to move state is what we always say, right? Like most people get to move to Florida. Okay. It's a get to, not a have to. Well, it's the same thing on the selling side. A lot of our owners here own their homes outright, and they don't have to sell. They just will if they can get their price. So I think our state, I can't wait to see these numbers, but if they ever track them in aspirational pricing, meaning what I hoped I could get for it, I'm pretty sure Florida would be number 1 on that. because we have so many owners that are just like, this is what I want. And if someone gives me the money, great. And if I don't, then I'm not selling. And that's okay. But it skews the numbers when you start looking at inventory. So it's something to focus on. But being ranked as one of the hottest markets, again, that's not news to us and our team. But I want to make sure that you, if you're considering making a move here, you understand that this is a hot market and we do have a lot of activity taking place in the marketplace. So let's get into what those numbers actually look like. This is the Tampa housing market. This is Tampa specific. This is in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, Bradenton. This is the city of Tampa, but it is a fair representation of the overall area. The median single family home price right now is $437,500. And as you can see, this thing's been tracking up since February. Pricing has increased every single month, and you're going to continue to see that when May's data gets released at the end of the month here too. And we're tracking right along here in June. The market continues to go up. Now, number of homes sold is down, and that is because the inventory is down. I know we just said that we have houses in the market, but again, the ones that people want to buy or are willing to buy at a 7% interest rate, that's a different game. Okay, so that's where that demand is coming from. And you could see it here. Days on market. This is a great indicator of how hot your market is. Okay, the days on market are 22, meaning at the peak in February, there were almost 45 days on market. So when a home got listed, it usually took 45 days for that home to receive an offer and be marked pending. That is now down to 22. So it's been cut in half since February. And we're seeing that velocity right now in our marketplace, right, ladies?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Do like, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Marsha's writing an offer for a client that they haven't seen the property yet. It just went on the market, and they want to get this thing under contract, so they're writing an offer on it. And that's called sight unseen for anybody who is unaware of how that works. We've done that many times before, but I think that's great. Now, I want to talk about why this is happening a little bit here and just get a little bit more specific. I know I used to do this a lot in our previous lives, but I want to get a little bit deeper. The demand component, because all the markets in the United States all run on supply and demand, unless it's subsidized by the government, right? So if you have tight supply and you have good or strong demand, it's going to raise prices. And that's what we see here in the Tampa Bay area with, we're almost back up to 98% of sale to list price, meaning if a seller asks for the money, almost 98% of the time, they're getting at least that amount of money or more. Okay, for the property. And then here's what we're talking about as well. So homes that sold above list price. This is down from last year. The last year was still Wally World in terms of normal real estate. You got to kind of throw that out. You see it here, like 22. It's so high. The pandemic was so high. If you go back to 2021, those things weren't normal. 20% was the a peak in 2020. But if you start going back to 2019, if it shows up a 5-year chart, you're going to see that that's not normal. It is below 20% on average, as you see back here. So we're climbing up. This homes above list price. It started peaking at January, February, it went up. We plateaued a little bit in March, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see that spike again here in May. Okay, so just everybody looking at this. Homes with price drops, I talked about this. Almost roughly a third of the market has had a price decrease. Again, these are aspirational pricing. This is what I want to share with you guys. The homes that are going under contract are going under contract in usually less than 2 weeks. I showed that stat last week. Okay, now those are the ones that are going under contract. Everyone else is left to figure out whether they want to reduce prices or just hold. So that's what's going on there. Why? Well, this is why. When you look at the migration, you can see how hot and heavy it is from the places across the country. So Southern California is super hot moving to Tampa. Chicago, we serve a lot of clients coming from Chicago. The Northwest, Virginia, these are areas where a lot of phone calls come from us, people reaching out, wanting to relocate to the area. These are the areas that we get the most phone calls from. And you can see where these inbound activities are coming in from. So just a perspective on where they are. And if we showed you a national map, I'll show you right now, going back to Florida. So this is going to be national housing prices here in a second. So this is the United States currently is at 407 for the median price, almost 408. And if you go to migration, y'all, look, 1,200 people are still moving here every day. 1,200 people every single day. That is why we're red. So this is the state that everybody's moving to. The blue is obviously super cold where people are leaving. So 45,000 people were searching to move out of California. And they've already had huge migration. More than 39,000 people were searching to move to Florida. So this is tracked by Redfin in their data. I think it's important to note. So great stuff to kind of keep in mind. And then last but not least, before we wrap up today, where current mortgage rates are. So you guys got to wrap your mind around that. They've definitely been up the last few weeks. We're closed out yesterday at 6.89% on a 30-year fixed and 6.54 on a FHA. Just heads up on that. And 6.55 on a VA for those of you looking at it. This chart's great. This is Mortgage News Daily. You can subscribe to them. It's free, actually. You can go check it out. Great place to review these things. But if you're going to finance to purchase right now, this is the number you're looking at. So it is definitely not inexpensive. It's also not cheap, but again, people are buying and moving every day. So just kind of keep that perspective. So we wanted to share those items with y'all tonight. And something else we can go deeper into is these mechanics of winning offers. I would like to circle back around a little bit here, Stacy, and let me pull this down and I ask a couple questions. I know we went long and deep tonight on some specific stuff, but one of the reasons why our client's offer got accepted is because of how the tools we use to get it done. Right. Mm-hmm. First of all, our client was extremely coachable in terms of, he asked great questions. Hey, what do I need to do to get this offer one? If you were going to buy this one, how would you go about doing this? Right. And I walked him through based upon my experience in my market. And if I had to buy this home, how would I go about it? And he was very coachable and he took great counsel and he made a run at it. And again, we had a VA mortgage, which isn't necessarily known as the highest priority for sellers, unfortunately, beat out 2 cash offers, which is never supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen in any world. And that happened because our client was coachable and because Stacy used all the tools in the toolbox. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think that's great. And I do want to give y'all some insights on that before we leave tonight. And I'm going to share this with you, hopefully. I don't know if I'll share this part of the screen yet. So bear with me because I've never done this yet, but I will figure it out. I started putting together this buyer toolbox, this buyer toolkit. They can help our buyers in this marketplace. Oh yeah, we do have access to it. Sweet. Hopefully y'all can see it. Yes, perfect. I know it's going to be a little small for everyone watching this. And if you want access to this, please let me know. I'm more than happy to share this with you and help you really win in this marketplace or any market. That's what I want you to know. Maybe you're watching and you're buying and selling real estate in a whole other place. That's totally fine. But I want to share with you guys some of these tools that you can put in your toolbox to win offers. Just real quick, I can't go into the nuances of these right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd be here for another 2 hours. And that just doesn't work. But what I do want to do is address some of these key concepts. So when you're working with your real estate professional, or maybe you're selling a home and your real estate agent brings you back offers and it has these mechanics in it, you've heard it, you kind of got a feeling for what it could be. That way, you can get your offers accepted, because everyone I speak to right now, even the markets they're moving from, the best homes are selling in days. That is the continued theme that we keep seeing happen over and over again. All right. So the first one on this list is sales price. And the sales price is not the only thing that matters. That's the thing I want everybody to understand. It definitely matters. And to some sellers, it's the only thing that matters. Okay. But understand there's a difference between a sales price and what you walk away with and put in your pocket. And this is why the sales price is not the most important thing. People will make an offer on a house and they'll see later that their offer was more, and they'll be like, that's not fair. My offer was more. But what they don't know are all the terms that were in that offer. And most of the time, and what I found in my career is a majority of the time, the terms are actually as, if not more important than the price. Is that fair, ladies?
Yes.
Yeah. So terms on there is that. Now, these are the conditions and stipulations under which you're willing to buy a home. There's a lot of things they can include, including price, closing date, and contingencies, and other things that I'm about to show you now. Things like post-closing occupancy or rent back. Maybe that's a term that you use where you live, rent back, meaning that the seller is going to sell you the home, but for some reason, they either want or need to stay in that property post the closing. Okay, maybe they're building a home and it's not ready yet, and they need the proceeds in order to purchase that home, but they don't want to go rent somewhere in between. So you can offer rent back to them. That's a great tool in the toolbox. Okay. And your inspection period, your inspection period or due diligence, depending on where you live. This is also a lever, a tool in your toolbox. You can get the inspection done in a shorter period. You can offer things like waiving the inspection. I do not counsel anyone ever waive the inspection. I want to make sure that that is noted right now. Don't ever waive the inspection. Okay. Unless you got a giant pile of cash and you're willing to light it on fire, don't do it, because you could find out the real hard way real fast. There are different ways to solve that problem. You can do an informational only inspection. And what I mean by that is it's essentially a pass-fail. You're still going to have a private inspection. You're still going to do diligence, but you're going to go through that home, and essentially you're either going to accept it as is or you're going to walk away. So that's a way to help a seller overcome concerns about your offer. This one is one of our personal favorites, and we use it quite often. This is called the worry-free inspection. And what I want everybody to know is this, the language you're about to see is we're not counseling you to use it. Okay. What I'm showing you is how it would work mechanically. And what it says here is the buyer agrees not to ask for any individual repair. Again, individual repair amounting to less than blank or more than blank during the private inspection period. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important for this reason. Let's say that you have a seller, they just put a new roof, a new air conditioner, it's got new windows, and most of the house has been updated. And you want to have a private inspection, and the seller feels like their home is in great condition, they're not going to find anything. Well, a worry-free inspection saying, hey, we're not going to nickel and dime you to death over this inspection. That's essentially what you're saying there, right? Buyer agrees not to ask for any individual repair amounting to less than blank, meaning if that was $2,500 and it had a light fixture out, you're not going to go back and ask the seller to fix it. That's very attractive to sellers. Okay. It's very attractive to them. So if you're handy, this is a great way to get your offer accepted, especially if you know all of the major items have been repaired or replaced. So it's a great way to approach that. An appraisal guarantee. This is a way that you can give the seller confidence about your offer. In a cash scenario, most of the time this isn't necessary because the entire offer is backed up by the cash that the buyer has. In a financed offer, in a hot market like we're in right now, there are opportunities where homes are quite frequently selling for quote unquote above appraised value, because appraisals are that information comes from previous information, not current, right? Or where the market is headed. So sometimes these two things can rub against each other. And if you're willing to guarantee the purchase price, which is underneath here, which means the full guarantee, just like cash, that's a very strong and attractive offer. But also an appraisal guarantee. This can be as little as, hey, I'm willing to give you $500 in the event of an appraisal shortfall, or as much as $50,000, depending on what your offer is, right? If you're going to write offers over asking price, you should be backing that up with some form of appraisal guarantee. Otherwise, it looks like you're just trying to buy the offer. I know I'm going fast, y'all. Bear with me. I'm trying to do my best on things like this. Escalation clause. This is, and I'm going to read this to you because it's the best way to do it. In a competitive market, an escalation clause in your offer can automatically increase your bid to outmatch other buyers up to a certain limit. I love this one as well. This is another really good tool because this is a great way to make sure that you can beat the other offer without spending all of your money if you don't have to. And who likes keeping all of their money if they can?
Me.
Shout out. All right, absolutely. Concessions. Now, these are, for years we used to hear what concessions is the seller giving? Well, in a hot market, on a desirable property, 0 to none, right? 0 to less than some is what's happening. Now, if you find something that's been out there for a while, there is definitely an opportunity to have conversations with sellers. It's a negotiation, y'all, at the end of the day. Every price and every sale is negotiable. Every single aspect of it, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, okay? But in a hot market is what we're talking about. What we're seeing buyers do is give the sellers concessions, meaning the buyer is doing things like paying the seller's closing cost, like their transfer taxes, their title fees, some of their real estate fees. And this one is really, really attractive. And here's why. Most people don't recognize this. When you pay seller concessions, when you pay buyer concessions to the seller, all of the money that you're putting in those concessions goes right to the seller's pocket. And let me explain the difference here. And let's give you a scenario. Say you're offering $500,000 on a property. You're in a multiple offer situation, okay? And you have the ability to take $10,000 and raise the purchase price by $10,000. You could also take that $10,000 and apply it to the seller's closing cost. And actually, the seller will make more money by you applying it to their closing cost. Why? Well, in the state of Florida, a seller can be paying anywhere from 6% to almost 9% total to sell their home. So let's give a scenario. Let's just say it's 7%. So for every $10,000 that the sales price is increased, almost $700 of that is going to taxes, title, and real estate fees. So by you giving the $10,000 in concessions to the seller, saying, hey, we'll pay your taxes, title, or real estate fees up to $7,000 or up to $10,000 versus raising the purchase price by $10,000, the seller actually nets an additional $700. Doesn't sound like much, but it makes a difference. Right. So just a little perspective there. That's one of my personal favorites. And the other thing it does is it doesn't keep ratcheting up your purchase price where your mortgage, the appraisal could become an issue. Okay. So something to keep in perspective. Closing cost. So this is a term, again, we just talked about paying some of the seller's closing costs. As a buyer, you have closing costs. I want to make sure you do that. Signing bonus. This is another one of our favorite tools. If you're in a competitive market and you know you've got a good offer, you can write the seller a signing bonus. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you accept our offer tonight by 8 p.m., I'm willing to pay you an additional blank dollars. If you don't accept our offer by 8 p.m. this evening, our offer reverts back to X. That's a great tool, especially if you make it attractive enough. Most of the time, $500 is not going to get somebody to sign your offer. It's going to have to be significant. Make it painful. Is what I always tell everybody. That's how you get offers accepted. Okay, that's a great way to stay out of a multiple offer situation. Drop a big giant carrot in front of a seller and have them have to make a painful decision, and you can help win your offers that way. All right, and then the last one. This one's important to note is contingencies. Contingencies are typically the largest downfall of any offer. And this is why we're so proud of Stacy tonight, because our buyers are contingent upon selling their home. Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, Stacy, our buyers aren't even under contract. They have multiple offers on their house currently, but they did not sign any paperwork yet.
Mm-mm.
And I'm sharing this with y'all right now because let me just tell you, this is like close to walking on water in real estate. Maybe a bad reference, but I'm being serious. It almost always the seller says no. because until you have your home under contract, past inspection, past appraisal, and you're ready to cash that check, most sellers don't entertain those offers because there's all these contingencies in between them and their money. So this is something to take note of. So I know I gave y'all a very quick snapshot of that. I hope this was helpful. If you would like this information, reach out to our team. We would be happy to share this with you. Doesn't matter whether you're moving here or not. This is a useful tool. I want you to keep in mind that in the state you sell real estate in, or you're selling real estate in, some of these things may not be legal. Okay. And this is all legal where I operate, just so everybody knows, right? But I do know places like Texas don't allow for certain things like escalation clauses. And I'm correct. It could be another state, but there are nuances. There are, real estate is local. Okay. So I just want to make sure, have a conversation with your real estate professional, ask about these concepts. I'm sure there is something similar to this where you practice. Okay. Or where you're buying and selling. And we just wanted to share this with you because this is where we lend our real expertise. Us showing you houses, that's one component of it. Again, our goal is to match your ideal lifestyle with the correct community. But this is really how we separate our clients, right, from another client, right? And Stacy's a prime example. I just want to say how proud I am of you for what you got accomplished here. This is not a small feat. And being in real estate for 10 years, I know that this is one of the most difficult things to accomplish. And shout out.
Yay. I'm so excited for my clients. So excited for them.
Good.
Yeah. And this is a full team effort, right? Like your client had to be willing to be coachable. They had to be willing, they had to trust, our judgment and our insights. Again, we talked about the contingency. We definitely let them know this most likely wasn't going to happen. And again, the offer was so attractive to the seller on the other side, they just couldn't say no. So,
yep.
Shout out. And you know who it is that's watching. I will not say your name because I was not given permission, but I'm so happy for your family. Couldn't be happier for you guys. So I look forward to celebrating with you and the family when you guys arrive. We thank you for your time. I know we went a little bit long here tonight. I just want to say shout out to Marcia. She has, she was overseas. She had some challenges with her family, and she's just handled it like a true pro. And she's been a blessing to our business and our community and to our clients. So Marcia, we love you. Thank you for busting your behind. I know you're working hard with the clients we have now. I look forward to celebrating with you because I know you're working on a story right now too. And then Stacy, congratulations. You have been nothing but a blessing to the team as well. You walked in the door. You've got a bulldog mentality. Y'all, these ladies will work for you. Okay. They will work for you, and they are very good at what they do. We love helping people buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in the Tampa Bay area. So if that interests you, you know who to call. All of our information is down below. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe. And until next time, y'all, go out and live that Tampa life. We'll see you on the next live stream.